Hey guys, this is Vikram here. Recently I've been posting updates on what updates I've got on my bike, like the accessories, where I got them from and all. So far I've done about 500 kilometers on this bike, so I thought I'll make an initial review on the bike. So let's start with the pros. The first thing is the weight. I used to own a classic 350 gunmetal grey Royal Enfield, so it's somewhere around 180 185 kgs, and with the accessories it goes up to about 190 or 195 kgs. And yeah, so I had gotten used to that, but since the time I got this bike, this feels super light. um, it's just about 169 kilos wet, and with the accessories it goes up to about 175. Center of gravity is quite low, so you don't have any issues picking it off the side stand and things like that. Second is the riding posture. The riding posture is great on this bike. The rider's triangle is very well set. You don't feel the fatigue after riding for a long day, and your knees don't hurt. And during off-roading, um, when you stand up on the foot pegs, the handlebars are placed perfectly. You have good balance. Moving on to the ground clearance. The ground clearance is quite high. I did go a bit of off-roading, and there were quite deep ruts. So the bike handled it really well. I didn't scrape the belly pan anywhere. So that's a good thing. Even though it has a 18, even though it has a 19-inch front wheel, it because of the huge suspension, it feels like a 21-inch wheel. So going off-roading on this thing is quite easy actually. Moving on to the acceleration, I think BMW Motorrad has done an amazing job with the ride-by-wire throttle. Um, it feels very punchy, and the acceleration is quite amazing. Um, Especially on the highways, it's super fun, and they have integrated their I don't know what exactly it's called. It basically controls your idle. So even though you're in a higher gear, you don't have to shift to a lower gear and to overtake and things like that. So the bike doesn't stall that easily with this particular integration. The brakes. So the brakes, both the front and rear have ABS. It's non-switchable ABS. So during off-roading, yeah, it may not be a good thing, but yeah, the ABS works very well. The cycling of the ABS is quite fast, so there's very little chances of skidding even in high speeds and things like that. High speeds, loose gravel, um, sandy surfaces. I've tested it in all these surfaces and it works very well. The clutch feels super light. Um, you can operate it with one finger. Operation of the clutch is quite easy, and the shifting of the gear is quite easy as well. So when you bomb downshifts on this thing, thanks to the slipper clutch, your rear wheel doesn't skid. The bike manages itself very well that way. To the headlight, the front headlight, it's LEDs now. You have a DRL. The low beam and high beam do a fantastic job of lighting up the road at night. The indicators are LED as well, and they are very well visible at night. During the day, if it's too bright outside, it is not very well visible. So only from up close, it's visible during bright days. The tires are Metzeler tires, dual-purpose tires, and they provide really good grip on and off-road, especially on loose gravel and sandy surfaces. They stick very well and they don't slide off. The mileage. So I'm getting really good mileage on this. I'm getting about 32 to 33 kilometers of mileage on this bike, which is very good considering I've gone off-roading, highway rides, and village roads where the roads are narrow and twisty and things like that. Ridden it fair amount in the city as well. Not a lot in traffic, but um, yeah, in the traffic it feels nimble and agile, so you can just make your way through traffic. The cons. Is it still recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it stops recording after a while.
Okay, I'll tell you. Stop.
Moving on to the cons. let's start with the gear shifting. Gear shifting is very sloppy on this. It's not good, and it's very clunky. Sometimes even though I hold in the clutch, you cannot shift the gear. You need to let go of the clutch and then pull it back again and then shift the gear. This starts happening after you start to ride. Um, it doesn't happen when you initially just start the bike and move forward. After a couple of kilometers, this starts to happen. Not sure what the reason is, but let's see if they're able to fix it in the first service. Vibrations. The vibrations are very evident on this, especially close to 6000 RPM. I haven't gone anything above that, since the first service is still not done, but as you get closer to 6000 RPM, you do feel the bike vibrating itself to pieces, especially around the tank region and the foot pegs area. The build quality of the bike, it's very good, uh, but because it does have fiber parts, pretty much everything that you see on the exterior is fiber parts. So every time you go over a small bump, you're able to hear the noise of the fiber parts, clanking together. The mirrors, I guess the mirrors could have been a bit more better. They do not vibrate or anything. They're very good in that case, but they are tiny and you cannot see a lot on those. So I was used to the mirrors of the Royal Enfield. Those were extremely vibrational, but at least you could see something. But in this, you can see very little, but whatever you can see is clear enough. So however you want to take it, whether it's a pro or a con for you, it's up to you guys to decide. The seat has a very hard edge here, so when you're off-roading, you cannot stand and grip your knees to the seat because it starts hurting. It's quite hard, so I need to figure out something for that. Apart from that, it's comfortable. I've got the low seat installed, so it's comfortable and does a great job of supporting your back as well during long rides. The foot pegs are tiny. I mean, you've seen better foot pegs on normal city bikes. If you do go off-roading and you don't have proper riding boots, you will feel them pressing against your feet because they're really tiny and it's hard to get a grip on them off-road. Next is the rear brake lever. I don't know if this is a con, but for me it definitely is. It's set too much towards the inside, so you will have to angle your foot inward. So if you're used to a bike like RE or any other bike for that matter, you'll have a hard time finding the rear brake lever. So you need to get used to it quick, or you may just end up going and crashing into some place. Front visor is almost non-existent, so it does a great job of pushing wind off from your chest but onto your helmet, so you pretty much go deaf. And yeah, this upgrading this is a must because it does make a lot of noise. Even though I wear earplugs, it does make a lot of noise. That's pretty much about the cons of this bike. In summary, any motorcycle will go the distance, but if you want to get to your destination on a reliable machine comfortably and in style, I think this is the motorcycle to go. And if you do have the budget for it, this is probably the best choice under the sub 500cc category. The ergonomics, the ride quality, everything is just superb, and you love to take this bike off-road and on the tarmac. It just feels amazing. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel. I will be posting updates about the bike as and when they happen. That's about it. Thank you for watching. This is Vikram signing off. See you in the next one.